Hi there. Okay, so I did this little sketch. I don't know how long it took me, but I did it with my Micron 03. I was listening to a podcast and just looking at a vase of tulips that are right in front of me. And I wanted to show you how I love coloring in with my Tombow markers. So this is just a sketch. You can go back anytime in your sketchbook and do some coloring, because if you use a microliner like this one, it won't bleed. So I finished it, and now I'm thinking, okay, I want to do some Tombow colors because I'm going on a trip. I'm going on a bunch of trips coming up. I'm not going to take a ton of watercolors, but I definitely want to take a bunch of markers. So I have a few colors that I'm pulling out. I'm looking at my tulip. I don't need it to be exact at all, but the reason why I love Tombows is they're really great for blending, and you can even use a paintbrush with them. You can get them in a variety of colors. Even I got one that said landscape, and it was all landscape colors. There's cottage. There's so many different kinds. I'll link to some in the description, and these are just great. So Tombow, they're water-based, they're water-soluble. There's two ends. There's a nib that's like one. This is my favorite. It's like a brush, and then also you can get into some really fine little details with the bottom, which is like a regular nib, but this one I love the more of the paintbrush, and they're great. So they're not too expensive either, which I really like, and a whole bunch of different colors. So I just kind of picked the colors of this tulip. There's even some little bit of purple in there, I'm just noticing. So let me pull out a little tiny bit of purple. And when I color in my sketches, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be exact, but you can kind of look at this tulip. Even the inside is so pretty. And I just wanted to add a little color today. So first what I'll do, and I don't really have a kind of order, but I'm just gonna show you how beautiful these markers are. I'm gonna work on the leaves right now. And you can get all different types of colors, but then you can blend and go a little darker. What I love is the Moleskine journal I'm using right now is perfect for this type of work. I have noticed other journals, sometimes if the paper is a little thinner, some of the paper will pull up a tiny bit, but you know, sketchbooks are all about just having fun. So it's okay if your paper's not perfect. I'm just gonna go in with this lighter one. You can go dark on one end and light on the other and blend it in the middle. But for right now, I'm just going in and adding this color. I wonder if it tells me what color. Well, it's not going to tell me the color, but it's 133. And I'm just going to add a little bit of dark around the edges. This leaf is so beautiful. It kind of flips over a little bit. The tulip stems even have, they're lighter than the leaves, even have a tiny bit of, it's not quite like a yellow, but it's light. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of this color here. And then you can see when I do some shadowing too, I'm just using little cross lines like this, little hatch marks. That really helps to kind of make a shadow that may not be there. Let's see, I'm grabbing this one. This is 131. And I'm just gonna blend this lighter color. It's not quite yellow. It's like a light green, and it's perfect for these stems. And I do want to show you, I'm going to do the tulip stems, but I do want to show you how you can use a paintbrush too. So let's just put that on that side. I have a little thing of water, and let's say you're on a plane. You can just get a little cap full of water and a brush, but you can take a brush and just drag that over some of that color. Isn't that great? They're kind of like the Neos, you know, you can use them dry and you can use them with a paintbrush. Neo Color 2s, for anybody who's like, what are you talking about? Neo Color 2s are a wax crayon that are also water soluble. So you can take a brush and really smooth out that blending if you wanted it to have a smoother, gradual blending effect. That's up to you. I gotta do that guy. So I've got 3 reds here that are really pretty. I actually even have another one here. Look how beautiful these are. Very close to my tulip colors. And if I wanted to add a little purple, I can do that. So let me just move these over here for a second. And let's see, what am I gonna go with first? Let's go dark on one side and light on the other. So around the edges, which one do I have, the dark one? So around the edges of this tulip, it's a little bit darker. I'm just like looking at some of the details. So let's go ahead and go with the marker. I'll show you too when I'm using the other side, the other nib, but I don't know, there's something about just using the paintbrush one. Also, I don't really care too much about being exactly in the lines, but if that was something you cared about, you can certainly do a lot of this with the other side of the pen too. So let's just take the paintbrush. I want to make sure I've got that green off of there, and you can go in and just paint. So my edges are darker, and I can just go in with a beautiful little light pink if I wanted to. Okay, so you could do that and really blend those colors in. So no paint needed, just a paintbrush, a little bit of water, and your marker, which I love, love, love. Or let's say I wanted to do more marker. This is a little bit lighter. It's not as light as I wanted it to be though. So you could take, this is a pink, and let's see what I can do here. You can then blend with a lighter color. So a lot of the Tombows come in like different shades. I love the actually all gray one too. That's a really cool one, of just all different grays when you're doing shadows and things like that. I mix a lot of grays right into my color. So that's light. And let's see what this color is all about. Some of my markers are a little bit older and the nibs aren't as nice as some of the new ones, but that's all right. Let's get that brush again, and just so you can see how beautiful and fun it is. And I'm using a pretty big brush right now. I'm using a number 4. You could definitely get like a 2 and get in some of these little tiny details. Just use a 2. That's all you need. So pretty. It gives you that watercolor effect, which I love. And the inside has a little bit, so this bottom right here, the inside has a little bit of yellow. So instead of using the big brush, I will go ahead with this small little nib. So you can see, you can just get into little teeny weeny details. I don't have a brighter yellow with me at the table. This is sort of more of a brownie yellow, so that's fine though for what I need. And then the inside of this flower, look how beautiful. I don't want to break it, but it's white and blue and the darks. Oh my gosh, so gorgeous. So let me see what I can do. I think I'm going to use a little bit of this purple just to go around the inside. This is 603. It's a really beautiful light color. And I'm gonna grab this blue here. It's a 526. I think, I don't know if they have color names. I should probably find out. I'm just gonna go around the edge. Let's see if I have a small brush with me today. I'm in the kitchen. I don't have everything at the top of my head. Okay, 2. This is a 2, and then I can go right in and start to paint those 2 colors together. I'm telling you, if you don't have Tombows or something like that, you know, there's lots of brands too. I just really like the Tombow. They're consistent. The colors are good. The quality is good. And I just think they're really fun to work with. So I'm just going to go in really light and use this again just to get that inside. There we go. All right, so I'm saving the red. Now I'm going to work on the red. I'm going to go, let me just look. I think the inside is a little bit darker than the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of this dark pink in the inside. And you can see I'm not going quite to the edge right now. I just want to kind of get some color down, because then you can go ahead and work with another color and grab this and just blending. The moleskins are fabulous. I love the moleskins. Just great quality. They're a little bit more money than a lot of sketchbooks out there, but I really like them a lot. I also like Stillman and Burn, but I don't know. I just don't love the Tombows with Stillman and Burn. So anyway, I usually have a few different ones I'm working on. When I'm sketching, I like to do some of the lines in my drawing. Gives it a little interest and some details. And then adding the color is just like icing on the cake. I'm just gonna go right in and color that in with my brush, smush that all around. You could even get a bloom effect where your color will start to bleed a little bit. And I just love how that looks when I'm painting with watercolor. So that's fabulous that I can do it with the markers as well. Now see how I went over the edge? Well, if that bugs me a little bit, I can always take my Microliner when this is finished and just go around the edges and just give it a little bit of like cleanup if I wanted to. And I'm just going to give a color for this vase. So the vase has some sort of like, what's that vase down there with no color? So I'm going to go ahead and give it some gray. I'm not going to get into all of the details of the vase. Sometimes I do this with a background color too. I'm just going to give it a little bit of color. The most important thing about when you're working this way or when you're grabbing a sketch is just to have fun and kind of just forget about all the stuff going on around you. Just kind of color in, not think too much about it, and always keep remembering it's not about the finished piece or how it looks as much as it is about how did you feel when you were actually choosing the colors, and how did you feel when you were blending everything together. And it's really all about, for me, it's all about just the art of creating. All right, so Tombows you can find in a local art shop. You can find on Amazon, and Micron pens or Microliner pens, you can find them too. And so you could take just like 5 or 6 colors, one pen, one little brush when you're traveling, and that's all you need to have fun. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.